And welcome to my next video in Let's Play Europa Universalis for Vijayanagar. Yes, we'll have a horrible pronunciation every time. So, last time I was just finishing up and preparing for my declaration of war on Orissa. Now, on Orissa's side we have the Malabarian army, which is 3,000 troops. The Gurjatian army that I can see, which is 3,000 more troops, and the Orissan army at 6,000 troops. To contrast, we have the 14,000 strong Vijayanagarian horse. So not second army. We're gonna rename this. It's the Imperial army. Even if it's not an empire, it's the Imperial army. So with that in mind, looking at our diplomacy, looking at our administrative, we are going to get this show on the road. Except we don't have diplomats, so let's let that happen. Now we have our diplomats. So actually one thing we're going to do is preemptively, we're going to put move our ships in front of the Ganges Delta. Additionally, we're going to also have our trade ships stop trading and instead wait here. Almost like we're planning something. Actually, it's probably better if we keep in front of the coast of Coromandel, just because then we can pledge, we can help siege up both Costa and Toniandio, the province we're going to declare war for. So once the galleys get there, we'll declare war. Okay, people? Okay, the galleys are there. The die is set. Let's cast ourselves for our fates. I don't think Kachar will aid. I mean, where's Kachar? Here it is. Yeah, Kachar is not a threat. Yeah, that kind of stung a little. However, we can deal with it. Looking at it, we have very little war exhaustion at the moment, though it will probably go up as the entire thing passes. In a couple of months, we'll be able to start quarrying Goshen. Marwar. Who's Marwar? Should I? No. Marwar is a beautiful purple, but they're a useless ally. Well, I guess if they got lucky, they could do pretty well for themselves. Unfortunately, we're just doing very bad. We've won the Battle of Malabar. We'll leave a detachment of forces to siege up the province while we send our forces. We're also going to split up one cavalryman so we don't suffer. Not an infantryman. We're going to split off one cavalry just to save ourselves on that in that regard. I guess we'll stay here in Malabar to siege. Their fleet is attacking ours. We should send our fleet as backup because if we can trap their entire fleet, that would be amazing. Okay, so here they go. And here's our tiny mini force, which will be sieging. So yeah, they're going to go defend the province we declared war for. Okay, so we won, got a tiny bit of prestige. And now we'll go and send our ships to help blockade the enemy for the siege of Tonadiu. Well, that's a pretty fast army. Yeah, I have no flip. Oh, they're fighting my mini force. Oh god, and there's nothing we can do. Because by the time we get there, and are you guys gonna get there? Go save them. And actually we won the battle, which is quite surprising since we didn't get any reinforcements. However, it means they're at the mercy of our own army, and unfortunately that sieging force is kind of pointless at the moment, since they don't have enough forces. They retreated to this province. If we manage to wipe them out, we'll be able to siege in peace like we were with earlier in the people we fought earlier, which I can't recall at the moment because they were only a minor obstacle. Unfortunately, this battle seems to be much more balanced, except we're rolling very poorly sometimes. And we were able to kill like 6,000 people there. So we're gonna guess and try to pursue them, just because if we manage to take out that army, we can start to make progress. Of course, they won't offer it since 1, we're at war, and 2, they hate us. But we can do some other things. For example, while we have max relation, we can we could send them a gift. We actually won't because we're too busy dealing with some other stuff here. Okay, we caught their army again. We managed to wipe them out, which is amazing. So unfortunately our armies at the moment aren't suited for actually fighting beyond some basic stuff. So I'll order, oh, and they're building a new regiment, so this is actually pretty good that we're going here. If we manage to intercept that new regiment, then they'll be pretty bad off. They'll be pretty bad off, since they need that new regiment. And they're actually coring too, if I'm seeing this. Yeah. They don't have a core here, surprising. Yeah. But yeah, the goal is widespread power, and for that we need troops. Oh good, we've started sieging over here in Malabar again. So, and we've already breached the walls. I mean, ships actually speed up sieges much because they get rid of the no blockade penalty on coastal provinces. So we are going to use that to its top, to the most we can. And also, our galleys appear to be intimidating enough that they're not willing to send out their actual fleet, which I won't complain about. Okay, so if we're lucky, we'll get control to Nadigu soon. Oh god, they're actually going to launch another offensive, pardon me. Okay, so yeah, the AI will be pretty persistent until we wipe out their manpower, which we're also starting to run low on, due to the fact that we had to replenish an entire army. We had to replenish several divisions worth of troops. They now have 5 troops here, right there, and if it gets much worse, then there's a serious chance that they could try defeating the Malabar regiment again. So we need to defeat their army and force them back into a more familiar area. We'll also be stalling it in that we'll try getting as much kicking war score as we can. They're now up to 6 units. Regiments, I'm sorry. But we should be able to push them back. I mean, if we go to the terrain map mode just to look at what they are here, it's mostly grasslands, which is a very ideal way to place the fight in. Though I would feel bad if we rolled desert, because that is a very unideal area to fight in if we're attacker. And I don't really want to deal with that terrifying prospect. So we have we're extremely likely to be able to actually pull this off next turn. Literally 63% I think is actually as good as it gets, because let's see, stats can't go any higher. All it can do is make it get worse and worse for the main city. However, it doesn't mean they won't get lucky and get more time. Meanwhile, if we look at our other army, so we're at current risk. I'm going to support the school, the idea, just because I don't want to take revolt risk on right now. I don't have forces to react to revolt. Tonin Gidu now has surrendered, of course. Unfortunately, we've lost our combined arms bonus. So one thing we could do is we could recruit, though it would hurt our reinforcement, we could recruit 2 more troops and solve some. I'm gonna fire 1 reduction off. Okay, and we can also make Koshin core, so we'll start on that process. That will be done in literally 2 years. So now our goal is going to be to wipe out the enemy army again. And if we want to go peace, we have several goals in mind. Once the game actually pauses, we want Tonagidu to become part of our nation. We want Garjat to be independent, and we want Targat to be independent. Looks like we unfortunately cannot annex, but we could also request them to abandon both their alliances. Actually, okay, so if we get rid of eliminate vassalization, then we could literally try to vassalize. I think we'll go for trying to actually pull the vassalization off now. They're a powerful nation, and if we can get them working for us, then down the line that will really pay off. Granted, we need to wipe them out completely for it to be worth it. Come on. Okay, we're rolling horribly right now. If you don't know how it works, these small squares right here are regiments, and they all individually fight and have morale and such. This roll determines how well they'll do. If, say, you have a 9 and the enemy has a 3, then you're going to be inflicting significantly more better ratio of casualties than they will. However, if you have we had a desert too, which was unfortunate. Grasslands tend to be perform better, but the fact is that all of our strong cavalry is just too much for their morale, what their morale can take. So even though we're getting horrid rolls, we're still able to deal damage to their units. Though I would prefer to surpass the fire of the insane fire of their unit. And yeah, and see, that's so terrible. It inflicts that war exhaustion we recovered. We have to do it again because we literally just gave it all back. However, that's a key thing that we'll be seeing throughout the entire mess. Anyway, so yes, moving on with the occupation. Looks like we have Hindu zealots in Bengal. We're lucky they'll be converted to the one true faith, and then we can we'll have one less Islamic nation to worry about. since while we've kind of isolated them, we really haven't eliminated the threat just yet. Our forces down here are actually doing remarkably well. We have a Defender's Desert. I think they're doing as well as they'll be able to do unless they get lucky roll. So what we could do is send our fleet over to provide a minor blockade. Okay, so now it's a 35% chance, which actually I believe is the best we'll be getting. However, now there's a bunch of results that could produce them. However, we won't be seeing any anytime soon, knowing our luck. Our manpower is also kind of shot. After this war, we do need to just peace out. I mean, I think if I make separate peace with Malabar, I can annex them, and then for a lot more aggressive expansion. And then once I vassalize Orissa, and I don't know if I'll also inherit Garajat vassalization, which would be nice if I did. But after both of those areas are taken care of, then we'll be happy. Malabar is kind of done. I don't blame them. I'm a huge nation, and there's not really much they can do. I mean, it's not like Garjat, which is just static for the war. They're like, oh, come on, keep fighting me. But it's still somewhat poor at the moment. And if we look at the war score, we're starting to get ticking war score in our favor for the war goal. Unfortunately, we want to vassalize them too, as part of our overall plan to not get food storage, but actually finish. I'm sorry, frustration. We're actually going to use our Cogs in a sort of interesting manner. Actually, what we're going to do, Cogs, you can stay here. We'll have the Cogs serve as a blockading force, since they're still technically military ships, and move our ships to so we can better move on to Costa. Meanwhile, I think that's all that they have left. They just don't have any more troops beyond those 4,000 men. Okay, it's actually 47,000 men, but whatever. What matters is that when we finish occupying and annex Malabar, and then we finish over here. Malabar is after surviving for 2 years, is finally done. So we're going to send our one of our guys to just lay down that, yeah, he's going to eat it. We do pick up a lot of aggression instead of expansion, but the thing is that all the people, the only person I don't want to receive it is Vijayanagar, and I don't really care about because I don't care what the Muslims think. They already hate me. I mean, they may enter a coalition against me, but that's pretty much the worst that they could do at the moment. Now we actually get another one, and yeah. The only one we can really do is a royal marriage, and I think we will actually indulge ourselves in that, because if it's always worth getting it, but they don't want it because they're hostile towards us. This is the issue with the hostile attitude, is that it makes people very unwilling to work with you at all. And the fleet I thought I sent to provide aid is kind of doing a horrible job. But yeah, we've annexed our and we've created a pretty solid south. India is one of those regions which you really don't know what's going to happen in it until the stuff rolls. And I think our early attack on Bahmanis just completely changed the dynamic of how the entire game was going to be played, because that was probably the most powerful southern power just wiped out in an instant. I mean, Timurids could still form the Mughal Empire if they're very aggressive against the Delhi Sultanate, or Sindh and such, but we'll have plenty of time to declare ourselves Hindustan. Anyway, now here our army's back together, and after some more reinforcement, which will tax our troops completely, unfortunately, we will be out of manpower. Hopefully they have less, but yeah. Anyway, we've now reduced them to only 3 of their powers, and I don't expect Kachar to really intervene. Kachar's all the way over here without me, which actually 2 provinces. It actually has another very nice color. I'm sorry, I do like. While some people didn't like it, I do love the colors they've done. It's made things a lot more distinct and a lot more interesting and appealing to look at. So now I think we've pushed it to the edge of what we can get. No, actually, we actually can get pretty high due to our the number of troops we have. And our leader's siege skill, which gives us 1 free point. Regardless. Okay, now it's at 49%. Pretty much guaranteed. It will fall soon, but we can't do much about anymore. Again, I'm not worried because we do have a lot of prestige on us. And also, military-wise, we're very close to being able to tech up. Actually, we can tech up. I believe it's because, yeah, one of our neighbors teched up because they didn't hire people to be. So now we can reach military tech 3 and unlocks it in the earthen rampart. I mean, we already had it everywhere, but it's a nice thing to have. The key thing is that we're going to also want to get as soon as possible the Pike Square. It first off will unlock armories and more manpower, which we always can use. But also it gets us a tactics upgrade, along with some even more morale for our troops. And I like morale, to be honest. It's a very useful thing to have on your troops. Also, in terms of actual development, we're going to want to start. Wait a moment. We have overextension due to Malabar, so I'm going to start making a core in that case. Now, since we've taken Costa, we're going to launch probably the last battle of this war, where our massive army of 13,000 troops will follow, but ultimately fail to hit the retreating army of Orissa. And actually, we're going to pursue, because the last thing we need is them continuing to gain manpower. If we want to at least hit them once and force their army out of commission for a couple more months, if not a year or two. We're now primarily a cavalry army, and again, unfortunately, we're rolling pretty poorly, and they're rolling pretty well. But we just have too many troops; they can't keep up. They're retreating again. If we manage to beat them here, then it should be end game for the army for a while yet, which then we can use to recover more manpower and of our own and take another province. Yep, and we've caught them before too much. They could get too far, and their armies actually were both annihilated. Not only do we get more prestige and war score, but now we are completely unopposed. Since if I go to the ledger, I presume I can still look up manpower. I mean, army sizes. And if we go to Orissa, well, no, we know Orissa doesn't have any more troops. If I just, where's Orissa? Yeah, if you look at the middle of the screen, they are out of troops. So they actually have a decent amount of manpower. They may be really poor is the issue. Meanwhile, if we go to their vassal, Garjat, they're also out of troops. So both of them are out of troops. So we're going to detach an army and send the rest all the way up to Rajabad. Now, as we get reinforcements, we'll see an improvement, but this is a pretty key thing, and the fact that we have a decent amount of diplomacy is will help. Overextension-wise, we're also doing quite well. Since this war has been going on for a while, we've almost gone and cored Cochin. We've also almost cored. We're also still in the process of coring Malabar, of course. So let's turn up the speed to max, and then let's just let the game roll. While I'll just zoom out and talk. Now, an interesting thing to note if you look over here is that you have Gurujati Patriots. Now, why Gurujati has Patriots? Well, actually I know why. They're defecting to one of the various other... No, I actually have no clue. Oh, they're taking back provinces. So yeah, Gurjat and Malwa are currently fighting a war. Presumably because Kandesh is under attack. Similarly, if we look around, Bengal still has that huge force of religious rebels, which we'll be supporting, because we need... Unfortunately, Kachar, despite having a beautiful color, will soon be annexed by the Buddhists, probably, but that doesn't matter as much. We are definitely, in terms of landmass, we're, I think only Delhi can really compare to us, but in terms of raw military strength, there's almost no comparison. We're just a stronger army that they're up against. And looks like gradually our manpower reinforcements are starting to filter in. And combined with the forces... Okay, our fleet here is actually suffering naval attrition since we've been at sea for a while. So we're going to actually throw them into a port and have them recover. And then they should be all the way up and running to be productive again. Now they got a supply shortage. I expect Kaling Adra to fall soon, and then we can focus our forces on taking Rajabara, along with more internal stuff like getting Cogs to invade Ceylon, and of course acquire our first non-Hindu province. Now, we've kind of been doing pretty bad to the conversion efforts, because I think not only do Hindus have slight resistance in these provinces to being converted, but you have the whole mess of different you have the whole mess of the fact that we messed up all of the religion. We should have seen at least one conversion. We stopped them so fast. We're going to be dropping some cash for ourselves. The Bahamis have one tiny little army. We have some Orissa patriot peasants. We'll take care of them during after we've vassalized Orissa, which we want to do fairly soon, just because this war has been dragging on for a while, and it's just not healthy for our nation to keep this long at war. I mean, I want our war exhaustion to go down. I want to deal with the hordes of overextension we have, but we can't do that now. And actually, once Malabar is cored, we'll be at a pretty good place, since we aren't taking any new cores this time. We're gonna actually move the second fleet all the way over to the Ganges Delta and improve our chances of actually doing something. Of course, they are under attack, so we'll go and send our fleets over to fight and provide aid. And this is actually pretty good, because we're forcing the Orissa fleet out into the open. So if we're lucky, we can capture a ship of theirs pretty easily. Neither of us have a naval leader. Neither of us want to spend diplomacy on it. And we're winning, of course, just due to the amount of troops we have, but in other cases, this would be very bad in the long run. We managed to capture one of their barks, which is nice, I guess. We'll keep all our forces in the Ganges until we get a surrender from their forces. I mean, at this point, it's just a matter of time. But I don't know if we'll have to take Gurujat. We may not have to because they're going to be exhausted by the end of this war. They're already exhausted. I mean, literally, they're willing to just throw it in. Actually, I'm wondering, they're willing to become my vassal right now. Now, one thing I do want to do is we get what we want. I should have checked earlier. So we're going to send a demand right now that they become our vassal. Orissa is now our vassal. Gurujat, I believe, is an independent nation now. Yeah, they're an independent vassal now. So what we'll do is that we'll help our vassal here by wiping out his rebels, because he's spent for manpower and probably for money too. Okay, and we also have all our provinces now, so now we can do some very good things. For example, once we finish our overextension boost, I'm willing to go and spend on stuff on stability. Unfortunately, every stability point after the first one gets progressively more expensive. This is just, it's a balancing issue. And actually, we are earning administrative rank right now. So right now, we are starting to gain points in the world. We are starting to become recognized. Granted, we're recognized for administration, which isn't that good. Sorry about hearing that in the background. It's food I got. So yeah, that's kind of the summary of this and end of this episode. Thank you all for watching. Next time, we'll be focusing purely on internal development because we are spent for resources. We are out of manpower and such. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you watch the next one.